Good evening, everyone. Very warm welcome to all of you. Online students, please confirm if I'm audible and visible to all of you. Comments. Online students, please confirm if I'm audible and visible to all of you. How are you, offline students? How is the preparation going for prelims? Good? Average? Why not good?
First time, don't have any kind of idea what to do, no proper strategy.
Okay, so how many of you are attempting this for the first time, prelims 2026? Most of you. Okay, what are the common problems that you are facing? Okay, what else?
What to read?
What to read? Okay, excellent.
Difficult to revise.
Yeah.
Okay, so online students, please confirm if I'm audible and visible to all of you in comment box. Also, please write down in your comments the specific issues that you are facing in your prelims preparation right now, and specifically those who are targeting 2026 for the first time. Okay, what else? What about you at the end?
Prioritizing topics, which topic?
Prioritizing topics. Okay.
Pending mocks.
Sir, we have many notes, but don't know easy to review.
What to revise? Okay.
We have to cover all the sources of current affairs, like magazines.
All the sources. How many sources are you referring?
Like multiple revision of magazine.
Multiple revision is different, but all the sources is different, right? What's your name? Anu?
Arunish.
Arunish. Okay. Okay. Time management. What else? Not able to concentrate. Okay, that happens. Again, some people are saying burnout. How many of you are facing this issue of burnout? Anyone who is feeling that? How many hours are you putting in right now?
I did not count hours, but after 10th PM.
When do you start?
8th AM.
Okay, okay. Okay, how to concise the notes, which part to focus, static or current. Okay, so this session, my dear students, is again regarding that only. All of the things that you have mentioned, time management, what to read, what not to read, how to prioritize. I'll try to cover each and every one, every point of this in this particular session. So this is a session, last 60 days strategy for UPSC prelims. But again, I should remind you, I hope you have started earlier, right? It is not like there is a magic bullet kind of thing that will resolve all the issues. So,
One reading already.
okay, that's good, right? Again, issue in mock scores, that's valid. So, yes, so this is what we are going to discuss in this session today, and I'm Shashank Gupta, heading Step Up Mentorship Program. So, in this session, first let me start with a very basic thing. How many days are left in prelims? 60, right? So, 2 months later, tomorrow you will be giving your prelims exam, and many of you for the very first time, right? So the most important thing is you have to first strategize, right? You have to have a strategy, a plan. It's not about the best plan in the world. It is just about finding the plan that works for you, right? So we'll try to develop that in this very session. Yes. So basically, yeah, 60 days. So please take it. I hope all of you will remember that how many days are left. Not to create a panic, but idea is so that you are not wasting your time, right? Prioritizing what is needed in these last 60 days, right? Now this, there are so many feelings, right? I know lots of stuff is pending, lots of notes are yet to revise, right? There's a lot of study material, lot of content. Maybe you are giving some marks, you're not getting the scores that you are expecting, right? Huge fluctuation scores stuck between these options in particular question, or what to revise, static or current, or how to balance CSAT, all these things, right? So these are some common and recurring issues, and again, many of you come to me and say, sir, I revised, I'm not able to reproduce in exam hall. So what to do for that? First, this session is going to be very important for 2026 students, but it's not like just for 2026, because even for 2027 you will be in a similar phase next year, right? So it is for everyone who wants to learn about clearing prelims, how to clear prelims. And again, it's not a magic bullet, it's more about the strategy, the roadmap that is needed. Okay? Okay, so first thing is you have to understand why these 70 days are very important. There was this dialogue in Chak De India, right? 70 minute, right? How many of you have watched Chak De India? Okay, at least watch that motivating lines from Shah Rukh Khan in that particular movie. So it's more about these 70 days, and you have to make it count, right? It's not about comparing yourself with others, it's more about comparing yourself with yourself, how you are evolving every day, every week. Okay? Always keep that in mind. So first thing you have to understand is, right now you cannot and ought not go after every current affairs or any static material that you have not touched upon. Okay? So try to first consolidate whatever you have. So maybe you have read Lakshmikant, maybe you have read Spectrum, some of the others may have read Yellow Book, right? Don't start anything new now. Okay? Stick to the sources you have referred so far, try to consolidate it. How to do that, we'll cover that, and try to find some gaps that are in your preparation that you will be able to find when you are solving previous year questions or mocks. So first you need to understand what is needed to be done in these last 70 days. Will someone who just started preparation but has all the resources and idea? Yes, Abhigyan. Idea is, if you have decent knowledge, if you have been generally aware, right? But it's not like you are just starting from scratch, then it would be difficult, right? But again, if you have application based mind, if you know about general stuff, then it will obviously have a chance. But again, it's not like you are starting now and you will be able to clear, it will be difficult. Second thing is that you have to prioritize in these next 80 days is basically you have to plan and systemize your revisions, because whatever you read, if you're not revising these things frequently, very often, then you will not be able to pinpoint in actual exam hall. Okay? I'll cover that, what should be done on last day, we'll cover that as well. So first thing first, consolidate whatever you have. Second thing is revise frequently and as much as you can. And what is to be revised? Obviously the most important stuff that is there, your notes, right? Whatever mocks that you are giving, and you must be taking some pointers out of it, your previous year questions, your current affairs, this has to be revised. More importantly, some themes I'll give you that you should prioritize. We'll come to that. Then more importantly, prelims is not just about knowledge. Prelims is more about the confidence. If you believe you can clear the exam, obviously given that you have made up the efforts, then you will clear the exam. But if you have doubts, then in actual exam hall, I have seen many good students panicking. Haath kaapte hain, right? That should not happen. And again, we'll come to the part where how you can reduce that anxiety as well. There is no ideal score in Power Up Mock, right? Always remember, we'll touch on this point as well. Whenever you are giving some mocks, it's not just to boost your ego. I have seen people scoring 120s in your mocks and failing in prelims, and at the same time, someone who is scoring, having a decent knowledge, scoring 60s, 70s in mocks, going on to clear the exam. Okay? So it's not about the scores per se. Scores should not matter. It should be the learning and the improvement that should matter more. Okay? So make it a point. You are not competing with any numbers as of now. Okay? I hope it is clear. Next thing is, it is more about building the confidence in your overall preparation and more about in your CSAT and current affairs. Understand one thing. Current affairs, I'll come to this as well. Current affairs is not going to make or break your preparation. Current affairs will be a facilitator. So focus should be on static portion. First, revise whatever static portion is there, whatever high yielding topics are there, more important subjects are there. If you are good in that, then again you are 70-80% closer to the exam. Then more importantly, these 70 days and specifically 60 days, next 45 days you have to build the mindset. Prelims is as much as about the knowledge as it is about the art of clearing prelims. And how you will learn the art? कैसे कोई भी art, कोई भी skill कैसे learn करते हो आप लोग? Practicing, right? So the more you practice, previous year questions or mocks, the more you will realize what is needed, what kind of aptitude actually works in prelims. Okay? So focus should be on that in these last 60 days. And then again, confidence for the D-Day will be crucial. We'll come to that. So how you should begin, how you should plan. So plan backwards. So plan with end in mind. So to begin with the end in mind means to start with a clear understanding of your destination, where you want to be. And then it means to know where you are going so that you better understand where you are now, and so that you can take the steps that are always in that particular direction. So anything that is distracting you from your destination, that is prelims, should be avoided at all costs. So plan backwards. How will you plan backwards? We'll cover these components in this particular session. So first is the planning phase. So plan with the end in mind. First, plan for last 3 days. What I would be doing in last 3 days before my prelims. Okay? Then you plan for last 7 days. Then you plan for last month, and then you plan for the whole month that is remaining. Okay? Yes, you can. Someone is saying, sir, can I solve 2 papers in a day to actually help attain that mindset? Because again, it is very important. Maybe some of you will score very good in GS, but at the same time, someone who is appearing for prelims and say with Delhi as center, they will face the heat as well, right? The whole environment also has a role to play. So yes, you can mock these things as well. Now we'll come to the planning part. So your exam is on which date? 24th of May, right? So this is the calendar, say for your whole month of May. So last 3 days should be to revise everything that is there. So the idea is, what you can revise in 3 days? You have hardly 30 hours. And how many subjects more or less you have? How many subjects do you have more or less? 7, right? Let's get at 7 or 8. So 30 hours by say 7. So around 4 to 5 hours you will have for a particular subject. So keep that in mind, because people struggle because maybe they have read Lakshmikant, they can revise that in 2 days, but it will not serve the purpose. If you are just taking 2 days to revise Lakshmikant, when you will revise your economics or modern history or environment, right? So first you have to understand, at the end you will have this time constraint, because in these last 3 days whatever you revise will actually stick in your head. Okay? So first thing is, you have to either make micro notes or use some material or even toppers notes that will help you revise those things in very short duration. So idea is, right now how much time do you need to revise Lakshmikant? Any guess? 1 week right now, right? So I assume many of you will have average of 5 to 6 days, right? So first thing is, you have to understand how to cut that time, okay? And that will happen when you are revising enough. So at the end you should be able to revise whole polity part in 3 to 4 hours. Okay? This is the first thing. Similar for your modern history, environment, economy and all those things. So 3 to 4 hours for the last 3 days, that's how you will prepare your notes. Okay? Now, before these last 3 days, you will have a week. In that week, say you have 7 subjects, you give 1 day per subject. So last iteration, you have 4 hours. Before that, you will give around 8 to 10 hours to revise that stuff. Okay? This is how you will plan your last week. So 1 day for polity, 1 day for economy, 1 day for environment, 1 day for your other subjects. This is how you will plan your last week. Before that, so idea is, this iterations that I'm asking you, 3 days, 7 days, maybe 15 days, maybe 20 days. So in May, you will plan, starting with May, maybe you will need 2 to 3 days for polity, right? Then only you can revise something in 1 day if you have earlier revised that in 2 or 3 days. So make a schedule. So starting May, you will start with your polity for 2 days, then your economy for 2 days, then your environment for 2 days. Okay? So this is the plan. Before that, you may take 25 to 30 days, right? So if you are revising polity in 2 days here, maybe you can revise the earlier iteration 4 to 5 days, which you are at the current level, right? So it will suit you. Getting my point? So at least 4 iterations needs to be planned even now, right? If someone cannot do that, at least plan 3. But idea is, if you're not revising enough, you will not be in a position to actually pinpoint. बहुत सारे questions आते हैं when you remember the page कि यार लक्ष्मीकांत ने यहाँ पे दिया है, या spectrum में I have seen this here, but I'm not able to recollect. How many of you have faced this or at least relate to this? Yes, because you know the information is there, but I have just read it once or twice. I have not revised it 5 times or 6. This is the point. This is how you should plan. So this is your planning for month, May of month. Before that, for April, you can plan something like that, 3 to 4 days for a particular subject and then move on. Okay? I hope this is clear. इसमें किसी को कोई doubt है? Now comes the more important part. How would I condense all these things into these notes that I can revise in 3 to 4 hours, right? I have been asking my students to use some tools. Which are these tools? First is you have to understand the highest yielding subjects. So you need not give equal focus to all the subjects. So suppose you have polity, which will give you around 15 questions every year, average, right? 15 questions every year you will get. But now, is polity equal than ancient history or medieval history? Will you give equal amount of time? No, because first thing is ancient, or we can say medieval, is a part of overall history that will have modern history, that will have other aspects as well, ancient art and culture, whole thing. So first thing is you cannot devote equal amount of time. Second thing is some papers like polity are more or less static, You know the source, you know that if I can revise Lakshmikant multiple times, 80 to 90% of the paper will be coming from there only. But in art and culture, or sometimes in ancient history, you can find something that was not in your notes, right? So it is better to prioritize those subjects that will give you important rewards. Okay? So these subjects, what I call is static part. It will encompass polity, you know geography, 11th NCERTs you have to read, right? You know history, you have spectrum, things like that. So you know the static part that you can revise. So this is the part of high yielding topics, high yielding subjects. Then within these subjects also, you have to choose some high yielding topics. So even if I am focusing on ancient art and culture, I need not go through every dynasty in equal weightage, right? So some periods are more important, IVC, right? Mauryan, Gupta period. All these things are more important than other aspects. So focus should, similarly Buddhism, Jainism, if I am talking about art and culture, every year there will be 2 or 3 questions from there. So first focus on high yielding topics as well, right? So this is, these are the tools that you have to focus on. So most important among them is, how do you know which are these high yielding topics or high yielding subjects? You have to reverse engineer through previous year questions. How many of you are solving previous year questions? Be honest. All of you, more or less, online students? This is what I am sharing. This is the strategy, right? Online students, how many of you are solving previous year questions as of now? At least how many of you are not solving even now? Those of you who are not solving, please try to make this habit every day. At least 30 minutes of my time will be given to previous year questions, right? Previous year questions will actually give you these, again, subjects, more importantly these high yielding topics. Which topics are most important, right? Which are recurring topics. There are so many topics that are frequently asked. So suppose money multiplier as a concept. This was consecutively asked in UPSC prelims examination, right? So first thing is you should focus on these previous year questions. Then as I have discussed, some subjects are more important than the others. So focus should be on first static subjects, polity, economy, modern history, and then your environment and geography. Okay? Then identify the recurring themes. Then you can, when you are solving previous year questions, you will understand the mindset, the trend that is setting. Sometimes there is a change in trend. So sometimes, again, from last few years, they are deviating more towards medieval as well. So you cannot neglect this portion as well, right? So medieval portion, you can again allocate more time. It's not like equal time of quality, but yes, comparatively more time than I was dedicating earlier. ठीक है? Getting my point? अभी clear है? चलो. First thing is build your basics right. So how many of you read Lakshmikant cover to cover? Cover to cover, and that's why you take more time, right? You have to identify the most important chapters first, and that you will be able to do with your previous year questions regularly. So if I have to list down some topics from Lakshmikant, which is the most important chapter? Fundamental rights, parliament, DPSP fundamental duties, right? Then you have emergency provisions, president, then you have governor, then you have Supreme Court, High Court. So on the top of your fingers, you can have 10-15 topics that are most important. So from those topics only 80% of the syllabus or the paper will be there. Okay? So this is how you have to prioritize those important chapters, and then yes, very important, center-state relations, right? So you list down some 15 important chapters that you will revise frequently. And when I say revise, again, not just if you have read Lakshmikant multiple times, you can again revise quickly. Otherwise, there are some compilations. We in Vajiram we have released these measure notes for a few subjects right now. We will be uploading that as well. Otherwise, those of you who are part of Step Up Mentorship program, they will have these quick revision magazines or workbooks for prelims. So something that can be revised 70-80 pages that you can revise frequently. Similarly, when you have geography, what is the most important source in geography? Your 11th NCERTs first of all, right? So 11th NCERTs, suppose I can break it down in 3 parts. First part, second part, and then you have 12th wala part. Okay? So in the first part, you have first landforms related part, right? For landforms, how many questions they have asked in previous year questions? If you analyze previous year questions, there are hardly very few questions that they are from landforms. You should just identify that which kind of landforms, right? कि moraines कहाँ पे होता है, something like that. Then comes the second part, climatology and oceanography. That is the most important. तो उस पे ज़्यादा focus रहना चाहिए, climatology and oceanography. So if you have revised multiple times, revise it again. Otherwise, try to make some short notes out of it as well. So these are say 12 chapters, 2 pages notes of each of these chapters. So 15-20 pages notes that you will revise frequently. Then again, in Indian part, so first forest, soil, forest, then you have rivers, then you have monsoon wala chapter and all that. So at least the soil, forest, geographical locations, right? This I can summarize in 1 page. Ki alluvial soils ki what are the conditions, which are the major crops, which is the location, right? This table I will revise every weekend. Getting my point? So do this kind of smart study. So try to have these smaller, shorter notes that you can revise. So whole NCERT can be finished in hardly 10 pages if you are smart about it, right? So try to have that, right? Understanding my point? किसी को अभी तक कोई doubt? Any online students? Right? Similarly, you do these for every subject, right? If you have read spectrum multiple times, well and good. Otherwise, first prioritize that summaries at least I should remember. कि whole timeline मेरा बन जाए. Then you have appendix section. Then you have your previous year notes. ठीक है? And something that you forget, कि organizations, newspapers. So make 1 page notes for that, sticky notes for that, so that you can revise these things multiple times. Every weekday, weekend, I will take out these 5 hours just for these revisions. So geography का revise कर लिया, these rivers, these soils, these climate types and all these things. Similarly, 1 hour for my history, which are important and which I tend to forget, right? कि ये वाला newspaper किससे related है, गवर्नर जनरल्स के टाइम पीरियड में क्या हुआ है, right? So this way you will prioritize. So at least out of 8 questions you will be able to deal at least 6 questions. First target that. ठीक है? So this is how you, again, and for economy, I hope economics may, economics is more about clarity, right? If you understand, suppose inflation बढ़ा है, तो what should a monetary policy do, right? RBI को क्या करना चाहिए? Similarly, what are there on the for, yes, and that is true. So forest report, 1 or 2 page summary you can read. So idea is conceptual understanding for economics and things that are in the news. So I hope all of you are part of Vajiram, right? So Jayan sir must have taken some classes. So revise those notes. Okay? So this is how the high yielding topics have to be done. So I have given this snapshot of this was I think 2025 if I am correct. So in this page itself, out of 4 questions, 3 were from just parliament and 3 pages of parliament, right? So try to prioritize that. Similarly, this is about again economics. So conceptual understanding कि Indian economy में if inflation is too high, RBI is likely to buy government securities or not. So relational things कि inflation ज़्यादा होगा तो RBI क्या करेगा, या US Fed ने अगर interest rates बढ़ा दी हैं तो how it will impact our Indian market or commodities or FPIs, inflow or outflow, right? So ये conceptual understanding if you have, you can summarize all these notes in 10-15 pages and regularly revise and apply with questions. That's what you have to do for each and every subject. Okay? This is something again I have taken out from your geography NCRTs. Every time they are just verbatim using these lines from NCRTs and putting up as questions, right? These are so many examples in just 1 year that geography NCRTs will yield you. ठीक है? So sometimes they will ask about isotherms कि जुलाई में क्या होता है, जनवरी में क्या होता है. So there is a map. So have this conceptual understanding, right? Once you have that, again इसलिए NCRTs are non-negotiable. So this is what I have consolidated for you. If you want, you can again take a screenshot. But it's not about, the idea is not about giving you a list per se. It is about handling and giving you the direction which area you should head in these last 60 days. So this is the summary of it. Okay? Okay. Again, these are some of the important things that you can cover. If you have to cover just 6 topics, try to focus on these 6 topics from ancient history, then from medieval history, something like that. Now, the other tool is, once you have done your previous questions, once you have done your basics, now comes a part of your note making and again shorter crisp notes. So I had this small compilation of Polity Lakshmikant, everything there in 20 pages. You will find so many toppers notes as well. If you have not made it, because polity is something very static, so more important things will be covered there as well. Whenever there are any gaps and which it is suiting you, you add up. That's how you do it. Okay? But idea is to concise these things in these 20-30 pages. Okay? Again, I have asked all the step up students to refer your workbooks as well, right? Prelims workbooks. For Vajiram students, you can refer, suppose for Modern India, we have released the smasher notes. So go through it. It will actually add any value. If obviously you are part of Vajiram, because overall, the things we have taught you so far, yellow books, it's a summary of that. If you have referred something else, then keep doing that. That's not an issue. Okay? So apply these things. So short notes, either you can make your own, whatever. How would you make your notes? How do you make your notes for prelims? अभी तक कैसे करते हो आप लोग? अभी बना ही नहीं रहे हो? Okay, so you get the idea कि this is the direction I have to make notes. But now what you will write? Do you write everything? No. First is what is important, important theme, and what I tend to forget. अगर मुझे पता है fundamental rights 14 क्या होता है, तो I need not write it. Similarly, if I don't remember what are the exclusions for Article 19, है ना, किसके बेसिस पे वो चीज़ नहीं होती है, तो वो exceptions में लिख लूँगा. It's not about writing each and every term of Lakshmikant down. It's about something that is important and missing from your memory. That's all. Okay? And something you are not able to recall in your test. When you are solving test, again, I read it somewhere, but I'm not able to recall. Write it down. Or any important additional information in your test as well. That you write. And suppose you have attempted 5 tests for polity. So try to consolidate. And specifically, it is important for subjects like environment, art and culture, right? Because polity, at least you know the single source. but for environment there are multiple things. But at least from test you can do an analysis. Okay, these are the 5 tests I have solved, and at least let me take down these 5 pages notes. That is additional information and new information and important information that you revise continuously. So make it a point, 5 days a week, 6 days a week you are doing these things. On the 7th day you are actually going there and revising all of it. Okay? So first level of revision will happen every day. So suppose you are studying 10 hours right now, take out 1 hour for revision purposes. Whatever you have read that day, revise it. At the end of the week, 6 days I have read new things, 1 day I will have for revision. That's what my approach should be. ठीक है? अभी कोई doubt है? Any issue, any specific thing that you want to ask? Online students? I hope it is clear. ठीक है. Now comes the execution part, right? So I have touched upon this. Revision is you have to keep revising. Second thing is, again, balancing act is very much important. Balancing of your GS and current affairs. This is very important. But again, proportion will vary. So if you are reading say for 10 hours, I am just giving a rough idea, is to 1. 8 hours maybe 1 hour or 1.5 hour for current affairs, not more than that. Right? Even in current affairs, I hope all of you are following newspapers. I hope all of you are at least following monthly compilation, right? If you are reading newspapers, no issue, and if you are attending classes, no issue, they will cover that. But at the same time, something like environment, science and tech, which is very much dynamic. So maybe here you can refer one compilation, right? So that everything that is there in the news, it is there and you are revising it. Again, you need not do it for polity, because polity is more or less static. 1 or 2 things that is there in the current affairs you must have gone through in test or otherwise. Okay? But for economy, environment and science and tech you can refer. Okay? If I have to prioritize, if I have just 1 day, I will go with environment. If I have 2 days, environment and science and tech, and then economy, and then places news. That's all you need to cover. More important things. Okay? This is how you balance your GS and current affairs. Also, my dear students, I hope everyone is practicing CSAT. How many of you are practicing CSAT right now? What about others? देखो, this is a warning for all of you. I have seen very, very good students, brilliant students, IITians failing CSAT, right? Just because of ego. So what I'm not asking you to doubt yourself. What I'm asking you is create an environment of exam. Take out a previous year paper, say 24 or 23, 25 की मार्क्स आ गई हैं क्या? की सॉल्यूशन अभी नहीं आया होगा, है ना? तो 24 और 23 तो कम से कम लगा सकते हो. If you are scoring more than 85 or 90 here, specifically in 23, then you are good to go. Practice on the weekly basis or test basis, whatever you are comfortable. But if you are scoring less than that, please mind you, it is high time that you start giving respect for CSAT. Otherwise, hota kya hai, I have seen people scoring 120s in GS and failing in CSAT. It is very much heartbreaking, है ना? It is very much actually difficult to come out of as well. Okay? So this is a warning specifically for someone who is having engineering background. उन पे थोड़ा ego भी ज़्यादा होता है. ठीक है? So please make sure, engineer हो क्या? हाँ, तो नहीं, मतलब मत करो वो चीज़, है ना? Please test it. उसके बाद comfort level है तो I have no issues. I hope everyone is getting the point. Now, and then this part I have covered CSAT part. Now you have to make a balance between previous year questions and mocks as well. So if you have not started yet, 30 minutes a day for your previous year questions. If you have already analyzed your subject by previous year questions, just keep revising the important stuff, right? That's all. Otherwise, at least plan some mocks for yourself. I don't give the number, right? It is totally up to you. If you are confident in polity and if you are scoring good in previous year question and mocks, you are good to go. You need not give more mocks. But static को revise करते रहना. In subjects you are not comfortable, not confident, try to solve 2 additional mocks for that. So suppose people struggle in ancient medieval art and culture or environment. I recommend them solving 2 or 3 marks more so that they have this additional knowledge and that they can actually bridge, right? These gaps they can fill for these specific subjects only. It's not about solving for everything. Okay? So based on your strength matrix, and how would you develop this strength matrix? Based on your attempt of previous year papers. How many of you do have analysis of previous year papers so far? What is your strength? What's your name? Shubham. Shubham, कहाँ issue आता है? Economics. Have you analyzed why? Suppose have you attempted 2025 paper or 2024 paper? 24. Economics के कितने question थे शुभम? How many questions were there from economics? 17. How many of those questions you were able to mark it correctly? 5. So 17, 5 correct, and then rest 12 incorrect. Now why those 12 were incorrect? Was it my conceptual understanding was missing? Right? Was it something very new to me? I have not read earlier. This kind of analysis will actually help you tweak your preparation and do this for subject. So 1 or 2 previous year papers you attempt and see where you are lagging. Otherwise, blindless doing the same mistakes over and over again will not improve the result per se, right? So do this analysis for every paper that you are attempting, specifically previous year papers. For every subject, say polity, 15 questions were there, suppose. So even if you say your polity is your strong suit, but still you are not able to correct around 13 questions, then it is of no use, right? So polity mein 80 to 90% at least should be there. Wherever you are struggling, then identify why it was there. Was it my silly mistake कि not ही नहीं पढ़ा? Was it because of lack of revision? Was it my factual error? So at least do this for 2-3 years of previous year papers. ठीक है? Will you do? है ना? ये करो. So plan some mocks, but keep balance with previous year questions, because at the end you have to understand the mindset of UPSC examiners, right? There is a way. You must have seen some people who are very good at clearing prelims, who never get stuck. I have so many students, so many colleagues, कभी prelims नहीं रुका, because they understand the mindset of UPSC. Right? So this mindset, और वो तभी आएगा जब actual में आप solve करोगे previous year questions. ठीक है? Okay. When you actually do all this, देखो फिर से मैं बता रहा हूँ, your static part is the king. Then comes the role of your previous year questions. Then comes the role of your mocks. ठीक है? Then comes obviously your current affairs. Current affairs will actually facilitate your marks from 90 to 100 or 110. But just on based on current affairs and you are not good in static, you will suffer. So this is the priority. But again, even after that, sometimes you need to learn the art of cracking the prelims exam. I know very serious candidates, again practicing much, but in actual exam hall they are not able to identify more than 40-45 questions. उसके बाद थोड़ा सा they need that logical application aptitude, and that you will again train your brain. You will practice and develop that skill of again art of cracking the prelims per se. But again, I am mentioning this again. This is the last resort. It should not be the first resort. कि वो trick है, tricks कुछ नहीं है. It is more about application, whatever you are learned. Now let's discuss these things. Again, this is again a disclaimer. It is subject to that you have already done the basics right. You have already done the mocks right, right? But again, it is a neglected aspect, so I am trying to cover that. First thing you have to understand in attempting prelims is know what to leave. How many of you gave a full length so far? Anyone who has given that? How many questions do you usually attempt?
Earlier 60, but now 100.
Oh, extremes. So someone here is saying earlier 60, now 100. देखो, idea is find your optimum level, right? 60 in my personal opinion is way less, because even if you know everything, if you are a very good student, there are chances that you will mark 10-15 questions incorrectly, right? So it will actually very much reduce the chances for selection. I have seen very few students say out of 100 less than 1 every time, right? Who succeeds with very good accuracy because of the nature of exam. It's not about कि सिर्फ book से ही आ रहा है. It is testing your overall general knowledge as well, right? Again, people with 100 attempts, either they are Einstein की उनको हर चीज़ पता है, चिट्ठी हो गए एक बार किताब सर पे रखी और I remember. Normal mortal human beings are not like that. So idea is you have to find your optimum attempt. This is very much crucial, and please write it down. This is most important aspect. Which range is best for me? How would you know about that? With practice, right? Suppose in again in polity, I can with surety attempt 90% of the questions. 50-50 वाले बहुत कम रहते हैं, but in an environment वो थोड़े ज़्यादा होते हैं. Or even if I take guess in polity, it is usually correct. Usually correct. Why? Because of my commonsensical knowledge. I am reading politics every time I am opening up the newspaper. कभी गवर्नर का इशू चल रहा है, कभी स्पीकर का इशू इज देयर, कभी इलेक्शन कमीशन इज देयर. सो आई एम इनहेरेंटली रिमेंबरिंग ऑल द स्टफ. सो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल कौन सा है इलेक्शन कमीशन से? 324, राइट? सो यू विल रिमेंबर दैट. लीव पेटिशन आर्टिकल कौन सा है, राइट? सो आइडिया इज बिकॉज दिस इज कॉमनसेंसिकल. इफ आई आस्क यू कि सपोज कोई एनवायरमेंट की रिपोर्ट है, डू यू रिमेंबर एवरीथिंग? और क्रिटिकल इंडेंजर्ड स्पीशीज कौन सी इधर से उधर गई हैं? बिकॉज इट्स नॉट एवरी डे and you are not reading anything apart from that. So one thing I miss that. I recommend in your free time, leisure time, it is not a source per se, down to earth, not magazine, but when you are having your lunch or your dinner, YouTube channel पे इनके चले जाया करो. Very short videos, 3 to 5 minutes videos, you can watch. It will actually build your common sense for environment. This is a very neglected resource as of now. And environment में again, environment की strategy दो चीज़ें होती हैं. First is your basics, your static part, that ecosystem, all those things that you should revise frequently, और वो understanding होती है सबको. But when it comes to dynamic aspects, first thing is have a list कि okay, these are the Ramsar sites, these are some important species in use, these are some important national parks in use. उसका एक list बनाना है and revise it every Sunday. Make it a point. एक map, create a map work booklet for yourself. How many of you have created that? Anyone? No one? उसमें rivers, important minerals, important crops, important in use, important national parks or Ramsar sites, whatever it is in use, add there and revise it multiple times. At least you will know better than someone who is there, right, in the average exam hall, because they will forget if they are not revising it. So make it a practice कि इसको आप during your lunch or your dinner you watch these short videos. ठीक है? So I was talking about when to leave. How much is the usual cutoff in UPSC prelims for general category?
93.
Right? So 85 to 95 range. How many questions effectively? Translates to how many questions? Right? You need not have mastery in all the 100 questions, or you need not attempt for 200 marks. That is the important lesson for you, right? Maybe you are good in polity, you can skip 1 or 2 questions for environment. You have to identify the core areas, core strength areas for yourself and the weak areas. So idea is to have this optimum level of attempt, right? I personally believe 80 plus होना चाहिए. I personally believe, as per my experience, but again, whatever works for you. And you will only get to know about that when you are actually applying that every week in your test or your previous year questions. ठीक है? Don't take it on my word कि सर ने बोला था 80 plus करने हैं. You see actually कि whenever I am guessing in environment, whether it is giving effective net positive to me or not. Something like that for science and tech as well, right? This is how you derive a system for yourself. ठीक है? So suppose this was the question. देशर कथा, right? कितनी भी हिस्ट्री पढ़ लो, right now many books may have played the catch up, right? But when this was actually asked, many were clueless, right? So there was this again a wonderful book, Ishita Banerjee Dubey की, But again, this is not the standard book, this is an academic book. Again, Plastic to Partition is a wonderful book, but it's not for you. If you have not read till now, don't read it, don't touch it, because reading itself will take 2 months, then revising itself will take another 2 months. Okay? So idea is stick to the sources that you have and know when to leave. So with a reference to this book, Desha Katha, consider the following. It warned against a colonial mindset, conquest of mind. Similarly, it inspired the performance of Swadeshi street plays and folk dance. Use of Desh by the author was in specific context of region of Bengal, right? So some will say maybe not, maybe he was a nationalist. So again, don't attempt if you don't know that. You are okay if you leave that. Selection will not be based on this attempt. Selection will be based on whether you have made your Lakshmikant questions right, you have made your basic spectrum questions right? So know when to leave. This is the most important skill, and this is why I don't recommend attempting 100 questions, because it will feel like okay मैंने कहीं सुना है. Unless and until you cannot at least eliminate one option or preferably 2 options, do not attempt it, right? This is more important. ऐसा नहीं है अपने intuition पे चले गए, that will backfire, or at least test it, है ना, कि how many effective net corrects it is giving me, my intuition, my pure guesswork. More often than not, it will give you negative. So reduce that 5-10 questions. Then you attempt logically, right? So first thing is, I have asked you to go through previous year questions. It will give you recurring themes, right? Earth के atmosphere में directly NCERT से लिया जाता है. हर बार there will be some questions around the other. Similarly, isotherms मैंने बताया वो सब चीज़ें आपको, right? Second thing is application of basic common sense. Understand one point, UPSC is a constitutional body. Sometimes people go and again go in court of law कि ये वाला क्वेश्चन कैसे हुआ, ये वाला क्वेश्चन कैसे हुआ, they have to defend it. So if they are asking at current level of development जो भी हो रहा है, which of the following is correct in science and technology? So maybe some Japanese researcher is doing something and this is not there in NCERT, whether it will be correct or not, right? So logically you have to think. First, eliminate the extreme statements unless and until you are sure about. There will be some exceptions in polity, you must know, but otherwise you can eliminate extreme statements if you don't know about it, right? Similarly, there was this question, I think I have this, I don't know. So there was this question, Chauset Yogini temple. Anyone heard about that? Yes, so basically there was this option where they said that it is the only circular temple in India. Yes, I think this is it. Yes. So it is the only circular temple in India. Is it possible? No. Is it possible that मेरे घर के बाहर एक मंदिर होगा, उसमें हो सकता है circular temple हो? Will no. So at least this I can directly eliminate, and once I eliminate option 2, you will see this is incorrect, this is incorrect, this is incorrect. So you can derive an answer. So I am not asking you to have pure guessing. What I am asking is logical guessing. Whatever information you know, apply that. Getting my point? Similarly, there will be so many things, right? Many of the chewing gums found in the market are considered source of environmental pollution, right? बचपन में सुनते हैं chewing gum खा ली तो it will be harmful, right? But idea is it is not degradable. You must have heard it. So at least these questions you can attempt. I am not asking something कि directly हर चीज. Suppose this was a question. Some mushrooms have medicine properties. Some mushrooms have psychoactive properties. Some mushrooms have insecticidal properties. Some mushrooms have these properties. So this is a possibility. We are, again, earth is huge, right? So it is entirely possible. So you can mark this question. Even if you don't know anything about mushrooms, you will know at least I will be able to find something there. Unless and until you know कि हाँ ये तो नहीं होता है. So this is the idea I am trying to tell you कि application of common sense, intelligent guessing, this actually works. In every paper you will be able to find 3 to 5 questions that you can solve intelligently, right? And if you analyze UPSC papers, you will know no one will know about it. You cannot read it in books per se, right? But yes, based on this level of understanding, you can actually attempt these kinds of questions. Okay. Then what I want you to do is fight in every question. It's not like देखने में डर लग रहा है तो attempt ही नहीं किया. Sometimes some questions are very simple, just language is difficult, right? Try to identify these questions as well. Try to eliminate options and try to check at least. Sometimes they do this match the following कि दो options swap कर देते हैं. So if I am able to pick one, I will be able to derive कि okay, this is not applicable now. So at least fight in every question. That is what you need to develop. And this habit will only develop when you are practicing. Make it a point that you practice much. So every day, if you are putting in 10 hours, I'll say 5 hours for your revision, whatever static content you have, then 3 hours for application. This is very much important. This will actually help you develop that skill, right? Because it's a competitive exam. Right now, when you are, again, maybe any test series that you are solving, they have to form 5 to 7 tests for each subject. So around 500, 600 questions they will need. But UPSC do not need 500 questions. They just need 15 questions for polity. उसमें भी some will be easy, some will be moderate, some will be hard. So at least easy or moderate तो मेरे अच्छे होने चाहिए. And if you are solving enough number of questions, that gives you the knowledge to at least eliminate others. Right? If I know कि suppose this was a title conferred by some king to some person. I know no, it was not conferred by this particular king. So I can reject that particular option. So I'm talking about a question in, it was in 2017 or 2018, Mia Tansin, right, who conferred the title. So basically, if you know ki ha, it is there, you can reject it. And that's how you can actually come to find a proper option. And I'm not asking you to take it on my word, please go and practice. Okay? So there are so many simple things that you can do in your exam hall, right? So as per Article 368 Constitution, Parliament may amend any of the provisions by addition, variation, or right. So you can again Parliament तीनों में से कुछ भी कर सकता है. You need not have much मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा understanding, right? Basic चीज़ें भी आपकी सही हो सकती हैं. And again, final thing, traps or hints that UPSC provides you. So if you are doing previous year questions, you will know there are some options. So I'll show you one. So basically, they have asked about Jhelum River passes through Wood Lake, Gag River, right? Next time, out of this, they are asking about the sequence of the tributaries, right? So whenever you are reading a particular question, okay, let me go through my other options as well. This is the practice that you have to develop. Better would be that you are already doing that. I hope many of you are doing that. If you are not, at least prioritize this in the subjects you still are not comfortable or feel weak enough. Okay? That's what you have to do. Okay, this was the question. Sometimes even the same paper, you will be able to find some questions that you can find the answers, because UPSC, again, the paper who are actually setting the paper, they will be having one concept in mind. Maybe based on that they frame 2 questions. So it's not like either दो कैसे पूछ दिए, or this was the earlier paper, then they form the questions next year based on that, right? So hints will be given to you in the actual previous year papers as well, right? And finally, if you can actually avoid silly mistakes, mark my words, go and attempt a previous year paper. Silly mistakes based errors and revision based errors. Suppose you are scoring 70 in your 2024 paper, and see how many silly mistakes I did, how many questions I could not attempt properly because I did not revise. Even if you can plug these 2 gaps now, you will be able to qualify prelims. It's more about that. It is not about chasing some fancy questions, and it is good for your ego boost, but otherwise simple things सिंपल तरीके से करनी है एंड करते रहना, दैट्स द होल पॉइंट. टाइम मैनेजमेंट इन अ डे और इन एक्चुअल एग्जाम हॉल, right? So there was so many students who came to me after this, right? They did not read this latest inclusion in UNESCO's list, right? They just wrote कि हाँ भाई ये सभी होते हैं, something like that. Similarly, this was the question, right? in the order of the priority. वो सिर्फ 2023 की बात कर रहे थे. They missed that, and because of that they actually again messed up this whole question. So idea is keep these principles, very important principle, non-negotiables. I'm just summarizing it for you. So first, solid foundation, these evergreen subjects. Based on these, you prepare your strength matrix, you do the regular analysis, you revise these multiple times, right? So this is the first aspect. Then again, do your previous year questions well, help understand what is the requirement of the exam, what is the requirement of the paper, your basically make this, train your mind for UPSC sense. You have your sixth sense, right? Train your mind for UPSC sense, what UPSC expects, okay? So that you actually, even if you read very few material and it is needed, don't diversify your sources, read one thing 10 times instead of 10 books, but develop this UPSC sense. Then again, attempt your mocks properly with discipline in an environment of exam. It's not like सिर्फ कर लिया, analysis नहीं किया, learning नहीं ली. Similarly, do fill OMR sheets as well. How many of you actually fill OMR while you are attempting? Others? This is a lesson for you. I have seen specifically the first timers struggle and they come out actually crying after the exam कि sir 20 bubbles नहीं भर पाया. And this is real. I have seen many students across the years who mess their preparation, their of not filling of bubbles. So one strategy is you have the attempt of paper. I'll discuss this in the end as well, but idea is after first iteration fill your bubbles. First iteration is which you are perfectly sure, just fill the bubbles, then move on to the second part. Okay? Then again try to regularly revise your current affairs and don't neglect your CSAT. Some of you were asking about the daily routine for you. It is not ideal, it is again an ideal type, right? It may vary according to your strengths and weaknesses, but overall components will remain the same. So 4 to 5 hours every day for a specific or maybe 2 subjects at a time, but idea is you time for strategy revision of your static part. Then maybe 30 minutes per day for your previous year questions, depending on your level of expertise and comfort level. Okay? Then again test based learning is crucial because you have read Spectrum. Spectrum is not even a book, it's a notes compilation of notes by a topper. They play catch up. So idea is you do a particular book, one source, but fill the gaps using your test. And again maximum 1.5 hours to 2 hours for your current affairs if you have not touched it. Otherwise I have given you a priority order of the subjects, try to cover that in that particular time. Okay? So environment, then science and tech, then your economics, then your places in news. That's all. If you have more time, go for the other part as well. It's not an issue, but idea is you have to prioritize that. How to manage information of newspaper? Right now, you need not give more than 35 minutes to your newspaper. Abhi ke liye editorial wala aspect you can skip. You just understand the overall idea, what is happening, so that when you come up, you know these are the important themes. But otherwise you can, if you are joined any course, say a smart current affairs program, you can rely on that, otherwise one magazine will do. Okay? But these subjects can have to be prioritized. I hope it is clear. Shivangi, Asmit, Radhe, Sachin, clear hai? Koi issue to nahi? Any issues so far? Anyone? Online students? Offline ones? Any questions? Any doubts?
Sir, newspaper to English improvement के लिए necessary है.
Abhi, this is not the time. I always recommend you to read newspapers. I do. But idea is, if someone is preparing for 27, now is the right time. But if you are giving prelims right now, it is not for improvement of your English right now. It is for processing important information or the theme. Suppose national park was there in the news, एक picture आई थी, तो उस national park पे जाके पढ़ लिया, right? Something like that. Obviously, it is very important. Let me be very clear. I am not against newspaper. I always recommend reading newspaper. That's why even at this point of time, I am asking you to devote 20-30 minutes for newspaper, right? But idea is you have to understand the requirement of the time. Now you are in last phase of prelims. 2 months are left. Now you have to just revise and revise. That's all you have to do. Okay? Yes.
If I'm giving mocks, so should I go directly to full length mock or
Someone is asking whether to go to full length mock directly or subject specific mocks. So let me be very clear. First thing is your sectional mocks. Suppose you have your polity mocks. If you are comfortable in a subject, if you are suppose out of 15 questions you are able to get it 13 correctly, you need not go to polity mocks. Go to full length and then analyze. Second thing is, if a subject is weak and if you are not confident, then it will actually help you bridge the gaps, fill the gaps. So sectionals का overall revision, overall gaps fill करने में बहुत importance है. But actually FLTs will help you in developing the mindset for UPSC, because you have to switch. In actual exam there will be multiple subjects, then you have to switch to other subject. It's very easy to revise one thing in one day and give mock on that, right? After 5 days you may not remember. So idea is full length mocks will actually give you a truer picture. I'm not asking you कि उसके marks पे जाना, but yes, it will give you the direction where you have to work. ठीक है? Any other specific questions that you want to ask? And again, don't neglect CSET. I don't want at least anyone who is attending this session or will watch it later on YouTube to fail in CSET, right? It is sometimes okay. वैसे तो किसी में भी fail करना okay नहीं है, given that you are giving so much efforts, but some things are beyond our control sometimes. But CSET में fail करना just because you are overconfident will not suit you. That's the whole point. You are from this batch. Yes, Mohan, that is true. Someone who is in classroom program, they always feel this heat. Obviously, you have this edge that you have continuously gone through some specific things in your classes, but I have always recommended. Have you watched any of my sessions earlier, Mohan? I always recommend one thing. When you are in classroom, try to have a parallel plan for you. It's not like classes के साथ ही मेरा सब खत्म होगा. So maybe you have to have some subjects that are already running parallelly and you are revising that, because right now there will not be much time. So what you can do is, whatever I have asked you, specific subjects, high yielding topics and previous questions, उस पे focus ज़्यादा करो मोहन, ठीक है? I understand. How to stronghold on CSAT? देखो, CSAT is a different ball game. I'll try to come up with a session soon on CSAT in next 10 days or something. But if I have to give you the idea, if you are not feeling confident in CSAT, practice it 30 minutes to 1 hour every day and then apply. Even in exam hall, you have 3 sections. First is your comprehension, then your logical reasoning, then your quant. So equal respect to each of them. So maybe attempt these 3 sessions in time. Suppose comprehension for 40 minutes, then 35 minutes for logical reason, then 35 minutes for quant, something like that. But again, I'll have a session on CSAT very soon so that doubts are clear in that. Okay? But I know even after all this, many of you will be struggling, and specifically those of you who are targeting for 2027, we have the step up mentorship program so that you do not struggle in the very end, right? So step up mentorship program 2027 will actually help you in everything. There will be multiple levels of mentorship so that you have regular mentor for you to make yourself accountable. You will have several sessions on note making, revision, even answer writing sessions. All these things will be covered, right? So someone who is interested in here, they can go through the brochure. Your smart current affairs, your test, everything will be covered so that you are prepared for your actual exam hall. Okay? If you have any questions, you can scan this QR code for step up mentorship program. The team will help out. But again, if someone still have any questions, we'll have this Q&A session. I told you, Seerath, first polity, geography, economy, environment, then history. History may be modern first, then you have art and culture, then you have medieval, then ancient. So you have to have order in mind. Any other questions from offline students? पीछे क्या इशू आता है आपको? करंट अफेयर्स स्पेसिफिकली क्या इशू आता है करंट अफेयर्स में? नॉट एबल टू रिवाइज? देखो, यू हैव नॉट टच्ड अपॉन करंट अफेयर्स सो फार? ऑलमोस्ट. तो अगेन I have asked you to deal with these 4 topics first. So take out 1.5 hour or 2 hour every day if you have not touched upon current affairs. Start with your environment. then your science and tech. So maybe in 5 days, if you take out, suppose Vajiram have this quick revision module, right? You will find it on the website. Say 50-60 pages are there. So revise that, read that and revise that. Environment, then science and tech, then economy, then your places in news.
So what if I have done monthly magazines?
Revise that.
Only that,
Revise that multiple times.
not compilation.
Not compilation. If you have done magazines very honestly, one reading, but again, what I can suggest is one reading is not enough sometimes. So maybe it will take you more time. Then you can switch to compilation, shorter ones, right? It's subject specific. But again, someone who is preparing for 2027, it's a lesson for you. At the end, there will be a lot of panic. So better to read. And again, whenever you are for 2027 only, every week you give 1 day, or every day you give 1.5 hour for your current affairs, so that in the end it will not pile up. At least at this point of time, you should have revised it at least 2 times or 3 times. But again, it's not to worry, but focus on these specific subjects. उसमें 3 से 4 iteration revision बहुत जरूरी है अभी, ठीक है? Mohan, it's same for everyone. Understand one thing, there will be very many toppers who will be sitting in your class only. They are giving more efforts, but yes, how to intelligently, smartly put in the effort, that I have discussed. You select specific subjects, then select specific topics, then learn from previous year questions and mocks. This is the easiest way. Any other doubt, any other question?
So how to do mapping?
How to do mapping? अभी तक क्या किया है?
Mapping कुछ best places in news पढ़ना है वो भी.
Whenever you are reading current affairs, first thing is again national parks and news, है ना? Similarly, कोई suppose आपको पता है अभी वेस्ट एशिया काफ़ी न्यूज़ में है, तो एटलीस्ट वहाँ पे जो रिसोर्सेज हैं वो पता होने चाहिए. मेजर रिवर्स, मेजर माउंटेन्स, राइट? सिमिलरली रशिया यूक्रेन है तो उनकी बॉर्डरिंग कंट्रीज. सो व्हेन एवर यू आर रीडिंग प्लेसेस न्यूज़ कंपाइलेशन, थोड़ा सा एक स्टेप आगे जाओ. अदरवाइज देयर मे बी सम वीडियोज़ ऑन यूट्यूब एज वेल. जैन सर ने भी कुछ क्लासेस ली होंगी, उसमें यू कैन रेफर. बट आइडिया इज़ इफ़ यू आर स्मार्ट इनफ कि जोग्राफी की मैपिंग, सपोज सम रिसोर्सेज आर देयर, राइट नाउ वी हैव दिस क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स इशू, तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि कौन से रीजन में क्या है. तो करंट अफेयर्स से ज़्यादा लिंकेज करना है. एक्सक्लूसिवली मैपिंग मत करो आप. इफ़ यू वांट टू 15 मिनट्स एवरी डे गिव टू एटलस, जस्ट सी एटलस ऑफ दीज इंपॉर्टेंट रीजन्स दैट आर इन न्यूज़, दैट विल डू. गुड इवनिंग शिवांगी. अभी न्यूज़पेपर विल नॉट डू. Abhi you have to switch to, if you have not started anything, you have to switch to a yearly compilation. We have quick revision module. If you want to refer any other, it's your choice. But idea is prioritize the subjects that are most important, as I discussed earlier as well. ठीक है शिवांगी? No need for, because again you are just covering 1.5 months of current affairs. The paper अभी बन चुका होगा more or less, right? Maybe अगले 1 महीने में बन चुका होगा, right? So it will not serve the purpose. Any other question? Amisha, Sirat, Mohan, Simpi, Arpita. It's overall general good idea if you have read your newspapers carefully, but it's not just about reading, it's about recollection. So I hope you have taken some micro notes out of it, right? So Durga Gujar, I think this is your doubt. No, Devi Kulari. So I hope, yes, you scan this and they will help you connect with me. I will bring a video on CSAT soon. Again, someone who is having a lot of FOMO, always remember one thing, this exam does not define you. Idea is you keep preparing, you keep comparing yourself. It's not wise to compare yourself with others. I always ask my students to remember this, right? You are here somewhere. Pardon me for my drawing. You have your past, you will have a wonderful future. पास में ये मत सोचो मेरा क्या बचा है, या उसके कितने नंबर आ रहे हैं, या किसके कितने नंबर आ रहे हैं, राइट? ऑल टू फोकस ऑन दिस नेक्स्ट स्टेप. ये वीक मैं कैसे बेस्ट अपना आउटपुट दे सकता हूँ, दैट्स ऑल दैट इज देयर इन योर कंट्रोल, राइट? डोंट फोकस ऑन ऑल द अदर एस्पेक्ट्स कि किसी के 100 नंबर आ रहे हैं, मेरे 60 आ रहे हैं. डजंट मैटर. यू कीप वर्किंग, यू कीप योर बेस्ट फुट एंड थिंग्स विल सॉर्ट इटसेल्फ आउट. ठीक है? Okay, those of you who want to leave, they can leave. I'm just taking some questions here. Yes.
I have a question
Yes.
regarding modern history
Hmm.
that I haven't touched the spectrum yet. I'm doing class notes, handouts, and yellow book. So is it suffice? or-
Revise. Must revise whatever I've asked you. Don't create anything new. Revise whatever you have read so far. Whatever gaps may be there. Suppose some things may be missing. You have some previous questions. You have some marks. That way you consolidate. That's all. Shivani, what should I tell you for 2027? Newspaper? I have shown you, Sirat, I think you were not present at that point of time. I have shown you every day 4 or 5 hours should be given to your basic static preparation, right? Okay. Then NCRTs will suffice. If you have read GC Leong, well and good, just revise it. GC Leong, if you want to have, I hope 2-3 chapters for climatology, ocean currents, and then 1 page for whole biomes, second part of GC Leong, that will do. Otherwise, NCRTs and the places news and current affairs is more than enough. Yes, you had the question. I'll try to have a separate video for that, but for the time being, what you can do is you can start with a regular attempt, right? You start with question number 1, or some of you, if you're not comfortable, suppose question 1 is of say environment and you are not comfortable in environment, then you switch 20 questions baad se shuru karo. Maybe you will find polity, right? If it is your forte, try to build the confidence in the first half an hour, because if you panic there, then it will create problem. So first identify the strength, which you will in these next 2 months, then attempt this part first, then economy, then you come to this part. First thing is, in the first iteration you should mark everything that you know 100%. 100% wale you mark and actually fill the bubbles as well. मोहमार भी साथ साथ fill करने लिए है. This is the first iteration, and in my experience not many will cross this 30, 40, 45 barrier, right? इससे ज़्यादा नहीं होते हैं. Then you go for the second iteration, where you will try to, again, whatever we discuss in this class, some things you are not sure about, but you are able to eliminate 2 options, mark them, right? But again, try in these next 2 months whether you can come to third iteration or not. Some people, I personally don't prefer third iteration. If you are finding time for third iteration, well and good. Third iteration in the sense, second iteration may, it will take some time, you will mark the options, but again, make a circle, maybe you will come back, but again अगर छोड़ा भी तो issue नहीं होना चाहिए. तो it should not be more than 15-20 questions, है ना? ऐसा ना हो कि आखिरी में 40 क्वेश्चन बचे हैं. That will create unnecessary panic. So 2 iterations are more than enough as far I am concerned, but again you can go to a third one, given that you have exhausted these two iterations properly. ठीक है? तो attempt to prepare in this format. किसी भी क्वेश्चन को बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं देना है. You devise your strategy in these mocks कि okay, this is the maximum time I am going to give, otherwise I'll move on. It's that simple. कोई भी क्वेश्चन ऐसा अटेम्प्ट नहीं करना है जो बिल्कुल नहीं सुना हो. तो don't chase this 100 questions attempt. If it is working, 90 will be fine. It is working, 85 will be fine. Cutoff is 90, 95. You have to have 110 as a safe score. That's all. ठीक है? Any other specific thing that you want to ask? Yes. Yes. Anjali, if yellow books, that will depend on the subjects, Anjali. For some things that, again, try to watch some of my videos for 2027. I have made that, but idea is some things will be there, some gaps will be there, because mains preparation specifically will need thematic understanding of the topics, and that may need sometimes other things as well, right? क्या बताना है? Entire resource, if you are preparing for 2027, read 1 newspaper and 1 compilation, more than enough. If you are again you are enrolled in step up mentorship, if you are going to enroll, we will take care of that. We will give you a specific course that is smart current affairs classes. You need not worry about anything else. Yes, you can. You scan this QR code and they will help you connect with me, Mohan. No issues. Any other doubt? Any other issues? I hope we have covered most of your doubts. That's good that you know that you are weak in science and tech. Now what you do is, because science is more or less a dynamic subject, Amisha, first start with any compilation that you want, right? Start with any compilation. In specific, you can go for yearly compilation, and then you see where you are lagging. 80 to 90% of the questions will be based on current affairs. Some part of NCRTs, xylem, phylum, if you can find short notes or any material that covers the static part, that is more than enough. Okay? But 80-90% of the paper will be current affairs based only. Okay? Science and tech need not panic, just follow the current affairs. उसमें understanding develop कर लेना कि okay, biotech से gene editing क्या होती है and all that. No, not classes per se, just basic understanding. You will find it in yellow books or any current affairs compilation. So that will suffice. This is not the time to go through the NCRTs for science and technology as of now. Right? Yes.
सर जो आंसर होते हैं ना क्वेश्चन पेपर पर हम टिक करते हैं और एक साथ में बबल्स करते हैं, वो सही है या
साथ साथ कर लो, साथ साथ कर लो. आई प्रेफर साथ साथ, वरना उसमें क्या होता है, सेकेंड टाइम यू कम एंड यू डाउट योरसेल्फ, उसमें गलत कर देते हो आप, है ना? तो
जो 100% पता है
Tohva ji, we have given workbooks for your prelims preparation. Refer that. We will be uploading smashes as and when required. For 2027 definitely we will, because we promised for 2027 smasher booklets, and we will give you for 27. For 26 we are again workbooks will do. Okay? Anything else any of you want to ask? Yes. Yes. If you are targeting 27, Shivani, monthly magazine will give you the actual analytical abilities that will be needed in mains as well, right? So refer that. I hope we have covered all your doubts. Any specific doubt that you want to cover? Okay. Okay, so I hope you learned something in the session, but more importantly, I hope you will be applying whatever we have learned, right? That is most important. And again, if any of you is struggling, then you can scan the QR code that we provided, and again, you will be able to connect with me, and I hope to see you in this type of program as well. Okay, all the very best. Keep working hard. I'll give you the best.